Have you ever stared at a totally blank page and felt just completely paralyzed? Well, you're definitely not alone. Let's dive right into this explainer and demystify the whole process. Today, we're breaking down the architecture of written expression. We're going to pull some incredible insights from our source materials to show you that writing, it really isn't some mystical talent you're either born with or you're not. Actually, it's a highly mechanical, step-by-step process of construction. So here's our blueprint for the explainer today. We'll start by tackling writing anxiety, then move on to the paragraph blueprint, laying the evidence, arranging the pieces, and finally, we'll wrap up with the complete 5-step process. Section 1. Overcoming writing anxiety, the fear of the blank page. Right off the bat, our source material offers this huge collective sigh of relief. It tells us point blank, writing is a process. It's done in a series of steps and stages. It is a skill that comes with great effort, hard work, and practice. So if you want to learn to write, you absolutely can. It doesn't just happen by magic, it's something you practice. Honestly, it's exactly like building a muscle. Your attitude and your motivation are the real game changers here. The problem is, we usually have these terrible misconceptions about writing. We get so hyper-focused on grammatical rules and terrified of making mistakes that we just freeze. I mean, some students even resort to memorizing model essays completely by heart just out of pure fear. But at its core, writing is simply content. It's your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings. The absolute crucial point to remember is that while rules definitely matter later on, they don't matter at all in the very beginning. Content always has to come first. Section 2, the paragraph blueprint, your foundation. Think of a paragraph exactly like a building that's designed to house just one clear main thought. Sure, some simple ideas can be handled in a single sentence, but others, they need the fuller, richer treatment that a whole paragraph gives you. And just like any building needs a rock-solid foundation, a paragraph typically starts with a very specific point. Every single sentence that follows exists solely to support and develop that one main idea. Which brings us to the topic sentence. This is your blueprint. It's a general statement usually dropped right at the beginning of a paragraph. By putting your main point in that very first sentence, you're telling the reader exactly what to expect before you start building the rest of the house. It sets the strict boundaries for what belongs in the paragraph and, maybe even more importantly, what absolutely does not belong. Section 3. Laying the evidence, bricks and mortar. Let's look at a really great example straight from our source to see how a writer makes a clear point. The topic sentence is, "The new family that has moved in next doors is quite a noisy family." It's incredibly clear, right? As a reader, your brain immediately expects that everything following this sentence is going to prove just how ridiculously loud these new neighbors are. Notice how that general statement gets immediately backed up by highly specific, visceral evidence. The writer doesn't just lazily say they're loud, they give us the bricks and mortar. We literally see the daughter popping her head out the window, screaming for Babaji. We see kids shouting and playing hide and seek late into the night. We hear their dogs barking loudly in the yard. And just when you think it's over, loud stereo music blares and rattles your nerves. You can picture the chaos perfectly, can't you? That's the power of specific reasons and details. Let's do a quick interactive exercise based on another example from the text. Here's a new blueprint. The trees in the backyard provide shade all day. Okay, if that's our foundational claim, what kind of evidence actually supports it? This perfectly illustrates the idea of relevance. Tall neem trees protecting you from the morning sun, towering eucalyptus trees, and massive rubber trees catching the noon rays. That is excellent relevant evidence. But what about low-growing rose bushes, hibiscus, or jasmine? I mean, they're beautiful, sure, but they do not provide shade, so they're completely irrelevant to our topic sentence. They just don't belong in this specific blueprint. Every single sentence has to earn its keep.
Section 4. Arranging the pieces, order and structure.
Now you can organize all that great support using 2 primary methods that act as signposts. First, you've got listing order. This is where you use transition words like first of all, secondly, next, and in addition to just stack your evidence up. The second method is time order, using words like first, next, and finally. These words are the mortar holding your bricks together. They guide the reader so smoothly from one point to the next that they never get lost. Let's take a super relatable topic sentence, struggling with math, and see how we can arrange the evidence logically. So the topic sentence is, mathematics has never been easy for me. Let's watch this build using time order. The writer organizes their mathematical trauma chronologically. They start 10 years ago in primary schools struggling with the simplest arithmetic. Then we jump forward to 5 years ago, barely surviving high school algebra and trigonometry. Finally, we hit the present day in college, where business math and the endless mystery of X's and Y's are still causing major headaches. By arranging it chronologically, the writer creates this incredibly compelling, logical narrative.
Section 5. The 5-step process. The construction life cycle.
So, how does a piece of writing actually get made? The whole process starts with brainstorming. This is where you just gather raw materials without stressing over rules or perfection. Our sources highlight 2 fantastic techniques for this. First is jotting, which is basically a brain dump. You just rapidly accumulate details as they pop into your head, no special order required. The second is clustering. This one's highly visual. You put your main subject right in the center of the page, and as ideas come, you draw branching circles around it. Like for the noisy neighbors, you'd put noisy neighbors in the middle and branch out to dogs, stereo, and shouting daughter. It's a brilliant way to visually map everything before you start building. Once your ideas are out there, you follow this exact 5-step path. Step 1, the brainstorming we just talked about. Step 2, making a brief, logical outline. Step 3 is writing your very first rough draft. Now look closely at steps 4 and 5, revising and proofreading. Notice something? Only after you've mapped and drafted your content do you finally worry about correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Those scary rules? They definitely have a place, but they only show up at the very end to polish the building. So here's the biggest takeaway from today's explainer. Writing isn't magic. It's just a mechanical process of gathering evidence, laying down a strong topic sentence, and building up a structured argument. The blank page shouldn't intimidate you anymore. It's literally just an empty lot waiting for your building. You've got the structural blueprint now. You know exactly how to lay the bricks. So the only question left for us is, what point will you make today?